So boy, it would not be back to school in Jamaica if we're not quarreling about hairstyles of students, not true? So what do you think? Should school children be sent home if they violate grooming policies at their schools? What do you think? Drop your comments below. I'm Dion Jackson Miller. Thank you so much for joining me. Time for tea. So, like clockwork, it's one of the stories we always do at the start of every school year in Jamaica. Schools locking students out because they turned up with hairstyles that are against school rules, or their uniforms don't match what the rules say. So this year, edges are the talking point. Edges meaning we used to call them baby hair that girls pull down over the forehead and decorate, put them in all kind of little decorative patterns. Edges is the thing this year. So we always start arguing with each other, right? You have one set of people saying, yes, they have to be sent home because rules are rules. And then you have another set of people saying these rules are oppressive and how the school them stay so. So for this video, I just have 5 questions and I don't have all the answers. Want to hear what you think about some of them as well. 5 questions that I think relate to this issue that we need to be thinking about and talking about. And they are: 1, when did rules get so strict? 2, are we right to associate how children wear their hair and uniform with their overall conduct? 3, are some of these rules rooted in prejudice? 4, is there a problem with this rules are rules philosophy? And 5, can we lock children out of school for breaking grooming rules? So let me start with 1, right? When did the rules become so strict? And I see a lot of people asking this, and I ask myself as well. I'm sure you've seen some of the photos. People always share photos this time of year. Them in high school in the 70s, for instance, and you see big afro and you see short skirt. When did we get to the point where we wanted boys to wear buzz cuts and look like army recruits, basically, and started policing girls' hair in the way we are? And don't get me started on the rules that some schools have that have the girls wearing skirt down to their ankle. What happened in our schools with our teachers and principals why they started emphasizing and insisting on some of these super strict rules? We used to wear uniform. We always used to wear uniform, and we used to have issues over uniform. At my school, it was a belt, right? We just wore a tunic. All the girls wanted to wear belt because, belt define your waist and make you look like you have shape and all kind of thing. And it was a big to-do. And with the boys, it was the bobby socks. All the boys wanted to wear white athletic bobby socks, while the school rules said, I don't know, brown or black or navy blue or whatever it is. So we always have had these uniform wars. But boy, nowadays is a different level entirely. So I had a really good conversation one day with a principal who called me, and if you're watching, thank you so much. I really appreciated the conversation. What she said to me is that what we don't understand is that a lot of the pressure is coming from past students. So we're talking about big man and woman. We left school a long time but have these memories of what school was like in their day and what the standards were and how standards can be allowed to slip. So they're bringing, and this now is me talking, not the principal. So they're bringing, in my view, their no doubt incomplete memory of what school used to be like and what has to be done to keep students in line, without, I think, understanding that times do change and that there's nothing wrong if rules adapt to the adaptations and changes in cultural understandings and beliefs in society. Which brings me to question number 2. Are we associating hairstyles and how kids wear their uniforms with overall conduct? And I hear a whole lot of the reasoning. I hear it. If you get them an inch, I'm going to take a mile. It's too hard to police 1,000,001, different variations of a hairstyle. So you just want to keep it simple. So you have a rule that says no this, no that, argument done, and it's much easier all around. So I hear that. I hear teachers saying we don't understand how much harder it is to deal with students nowadays, and I totally get that. I accept that because, something, the teachers are the ones in the trenches, not me. Now, the same principal told me that the hairstyle, she said, especially for the girls, are a problem because she said they skip class to comb their hair. So I interviewed the principal of St. Andrew High School, Kiva Ingram, and she spoke to me on my radio program, Beyond the Headlines on Radio Jamaica, and St. Andrew is in the news because of this little cartoon that's going around that says, you know, the rule at school is no edges. She told me that the school had said they would see how the edges thing worked out, maybe about 2 years ago, I think she said, but she said they've gotten more and more fancy. She said the girls are taking longer and longer to do their hair. Parents are complaining how long the girls are taking in the morning because they might do edges. They're skipping class. They're late for class because they're in the bathroom redoing edges. I will say though, you know, me have to say something. I do think there's a set of teenagers that's just obsessed with combing hair. If we allowed makeup, they would be obsessed with makeup as well. Whatever the rule allows, even if it's 4 plats, they are going to be in the bathroom doing the 4 plait them over and over and over and over and over. So teenagers stay from ever since, and as I said, you have a set that is how they operate. I would say that one of the things that has crossed my mind recently is the extent to which at least some of these children might be having difficulty understanding what's happening in the classroom and therefore looking for every opportunity not to be there. Because if you're in class and you don't know what they're going, you know, might as well go bathroom and come here. And I think maybe that's one of the things we have to think about more now, those kinds of classroom avoidance techniques, as we understand more and more how serious the literacy problem is in our schools. I do have to stop for a moment and say how impressed I was by my conversation with Mrs. Ingram, right? She came across as totally reasonable. She said they celebrate black hairstyles at St. Andrews, Afro, cane or whatever, but she said the edges were causing problems. All right. Number 3. Are a lot of these rules rooted in prejudice? And I think this is a question a lot of us get kind of antsy about, not comfortable with, because honestly, undeniably, the answer is yes. Scratch the surface of a lot of these rules against hairstyles, right? Like modest fades, like fros, like locks. You'll find attitudes about black hair that go back to our colonizers. You'll hear words like unkempt. Black hair is unkempt. You have to keep it in check. You'll hear unruly. You'll hear untidy. The schools have been forced to accept locks because of the Rastafarian and religious thing, but they will still tell kids that they have to wear tam. Why? They're not telling the white kids, the Chinese kids, the Indian kids put their long hair in a tam. Why dreadlocks? You see what I mean? A lot of the time you have to interrogate some of these things that we've come to accept as normal. And the idea that we have to keep black hair in check because it's unkempt and unruly in a largely black country, because this is what we have to teach the kids when they go out into the workplace, is sad. I love the fact, by the way, that some of the schools now have natural hair clubs. Big up yourself, Excelsior. Big up yourself, Campion College. I love that. I do feel to a certain extent the kids have to do this because of the fact that they're pushing back against prejudice, right? But I love the pictures. I say I love the celebration of our hair. So, you know, all the best to you with that. By the way, these workplaces I keep hearing about that don't allow these black hairstyles, I don't know when I talk, it must be army, because more and more workplaces that I go into, I see all kinds of beautiful black hairstyles. More and more women, by the way, are refusing to put chemicals in their hair. And you have heard, I assume by now, the concerns about cancer that's linked to the chemical them where we used to use for cream or hair. We see men now wearing fades, wearing mohawks, wearing faux hawks. We see men and women wearing absolutely gorgeous fros. We see locks all over the place. We see colored hair. Let me be clear. I'm not saying that all workplaces allow this. I'm not. But I am saying that more and more we are seeing the changes. And I think a lot of what we're hearing is from very conservative people who are hearkening back to a Jamaica that is thankfully fading away. See what I did there? Number 4, is there a problem with the rules or rules philosophy? Unquestionably, yes. Because this idea that we must without question fall in line with a rule simply because it's a rule is dangerous. It suppresses the critical thinking that we claim we want children to do. It opens the door to cultural oppression by closet bigots. I keep hearing every time some of us question a rule that, oh, you're against law and order, you want us to live in a lawless society, and I say over and over, nonsense. Rules should be interrogated. If they no longer serve us, we need to dash them away. If they're coming from a place of anti-blackness, we need to dash them away. If society is changing and we want to change the way we prepare our children for that society, then yes, we look at the rules and see if the rules need to be changed. If a rule is still appropriate and useful, then we keep it. For instance, the rule against skin bleaching. Most schools, if not all, as far as I know, have banned skin bleaching. I support this 100% because skin bleaching is harmful. It's harmful to adults, much less to children. It's harmful physically, it's harmful psychologically, it's harmful socially. And when we are making rules, we should look at what's in the best interest of society and what is in the best interest of children. Should we have a rule mandating school uniforms? From me 1,000 times, yes, absolutely yes. Uniforms help to create an even playing field in what is a very uneven society. A child from a poor family can have 1 or 2 uniforms and come school every day looking just as nice as a child from a rich family because of the school uniform rule. Same thing for jewelry. Uniforms help to eliminate the appearance of these huge income disparities we have in the society that translate into the schools. And they help to protect children from psychological and mental health and insecurity issues at a time when they're most vulnerable. So yeah, this rule makes sense, so we keep the rule. Alright, so if you're one of the people who, because I raise this every year, probably more than once a year, you love cuss me and you say, boy, Dion doesn't believe in rules, don't do that, because it's not true. And I get as well, you might say, hold on, where's the line, right? What I'm describing, where's the line? Is there a hard line? And I would say to you, no, it's fuzzy and it's constantly changing. And that's actually the nature of society. Let's just accept that and work with it and discuss it and change as we go and as necessary. Alright, so number 5, the big one. Should we lock children out of school for breaking rules on grooming? No. You have to look at these issues and take a balanced approach to them, alright? Students need to be in class learning. We have a huge problem with underperformance in our schools with children who are not learning. If we're to send home students, meaning take them out of the classroom, interrupt their learning, we can only do that for things that are absolutely the most serious types of offenses. And a hairstyle is not it. The Ministry of Education has sent out a directive on this, saying students are not to be shut out of school or sent home like this. So we don't even have to go any further than that. I don't know why it keeps happening. And I still think we don't really understand that when an institution takes public money, taxpayers' money, as schools do, they actually have an extra burden to explain themselves and to act in the public interest. Alright, so I'm going to leave it there for today. What do you think about all of this? Drop your comments below. Remember, keep it civil, alright? Like the video, share with somebody who might be interested, and subscribe to the channel if you have not done so yet. Also, click that notification bell so you know anytime I drop a new video. I'm Dion. Thank you so much for watching. Back to my tea.